Please raise your hand if you have ever had a leader who truly listened to you. The kind of person who, when you spoke, made it feel like nothing else in the world mattered except your words. Now, raise your hand if you have had a leader who didn't listen. Someone who interrupted you, kept checking their watch, or had already made up their mind before you even open your mouth. It is frustrating, right? It makes us feel invisible. Often, the world teaches us that leadership is about having a microphone. It's about giving orders. But today, I want to invite you to think differently. What if a leader's greatest power isn't in their voice, but in their hearing? There is a scene in the movie Moana that perfectly illustrates what happens when we stop fighting and start observing. In the movie, Moana has to face Teka, a giant furious lava monster. Everyone says you must defeat the monster. They focus us entirely in strength. But in the final moment, Moana stops. She takes a breath. And she realizes that Teka wasn't in the enemy. She was the Fairy, the goddess of creation, who had lost her heart. The fury was, in fact, deep pain. Moana didn't solve the problem with brute force. She solved it with perception. She listened to what the monster pen was saying. She didn't just change the plan. She adapted her very nature from a warrior to a healer. That is leadership. Working with little kids, I've learned that this kind of perception requires a change in posture, both physical and mental. Often, kids don't know how to explain what they feel. They don't say, "I'm frustrated." They scream, or sometimes they isolate themselves. And I experienced this firsthand. This is Dante. I didn't think I was going to say this, but I really miss him. Dante is one of my students. He's a very intelligent and loving kid. But in the beginning, he was always tired. He would get frustrated very quickly. He didn't want to do the activities. And sometimes it looked like he was just lazy. When things didn't go well, he would scream and cry a lot. And many times, I didn't know what to do. And I would just think, oh my goodness, this kid is so spoiled. But I was the teacher. I was the one who needed to understand him. And little by little, I realized that his behavior was not the problem. It was his way of expression, what he was feeling inside. Dante didn't change overnight. And It was on the first try that things got better. He was still a kid. The one who needed it to change was me. I had to adapt. I had to make learning meaningful for him. I had to help him feel capable and show him that they didn't need to scream or cry to be seen. That I was there with him. And with time, I learned to look beyond the behavior, beyond the frustration, and see the pain behind it. Because sometimes a 4-year-old is carrying something they don't know how to explain. And that's changing the why I lead. That experience taught me something I carry with my until today, both in the classroom and in my life. To truly listen to a kid, I need a simple but powerful technique. I need to kneel down. I need to be at their eye level. When I lower myself, I give up my position of authority and I say, without a single word, I'm here with you. I see you. You matter to me. In leadership with adults, we do the same thing symbolically. We step down from our pedestal to look at others as equals. With Dante, I had to adapt my height and my tone of voice. And leaders must do the same. If a leader does not adapt to what they hear, communication dies. And when communication dies, connection dies too. Trust only happens at eye level. And this is not just true in classroom. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison learning the language of those who upset him. Not because he agreed with them, but because he needed to understand the fears to build a bridge. He transformed enemies into partners because he had the humility to listen to what to behind the anger. Mandela himself knew what it felt like to not be heard, and maybe so do we. I believe all of us carry in some way a wound from a moment when we are not truly hurt. Maybe when we were children, maybe in a relationship, maybe even at work. And sometimes that wound is exactly what makes it hard for us to listen to others. Leadership is not about being the hero. It's about creating space for someone else's story to be told. Great leaders are not the ones who speak the loudest. They are the ones who listen to deepest and have the courage to lower themselves to reach a wounded heart. Mandela taught us that listening building bridges. Moana showed us that listen heals. So the real question is not, are you listening? The question is, who can you transform simply because you choose to listen?